Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Jenda, and this is my Let's Play of Wargame Red Dragon. We continue the Second Korean War as we continue to hold off the Chinese counterattack coming north through Thaechon, fight through our landing at Sonchon, and we try to take Pyongyang at long last. Hopefully. Significant if it did show up anyway. I mean, it is all helicopters, but I don't think it would be a huge deal. Thaechon. Would be nice if we could win a real victory here. As it is, I think we're just going to keep on wearing them down. They have, we both have huge forces of infantry still. They still have more than me. They're down to 23 tanks, which is definitely less. And it's just a matter of... It's really literally just a matter of digging into this village and... using our hornets to cause as much damage as possible. Maybe I'll try to do some counter battery fire.
누굴 옮겨줄까? 세상에 단 두 종류의 인간이 있어. 호병인간 아니면 벨포족 인간. 아름답. 예, 가능한 빨리 가겠습니다. 명령 받겠습니다.
I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, we pretty much have less tactical options than ever, as in basically none, but... as boring and unfortunate as that is, we don't really truly need them. We just need to beat up on their tanks and infantry as they keep attacking us. I don't think crossing over there is viable. Might be able to sneak around to here or something, though. A really brilliant move would be if I could sneak over all the way over to here or something. If I could take out their 2 Pyongyang command vehicle or something, that would be hysterical. I'll probably just die, but, you know, worth a shot, I guess. At least both of our morale is still sky high. Oops, seem to have died. Oh well. Well, that was our last tactical option, so now we just sit here with 0 points and hope they don't overrun us before the 15 minutes runs out. Boring as that is, it's been pretty consistently effective so far, so... I guess the only way it could be ineffective is if they don't actually attack us, because... if they didn't attack, they would never lose anything, so... These are not tank. Wait, that's a tank. And it was a really expensive tank. Nice. They still do have 2 AA units somewhere, but I've seen no sign of them in the last, like, 3 rounds of fighting here. Yep, here they come. That's a tank. Damn it.
명령 받겠습니다.
I'm trying to keep this vehicle park alive, because it's technically, like... If you lose the vehicles, you lose the infantry too, at the end, so it's not good. They only have a couple of tanks in there. Still not looking great for Yebu.
최후의 깃발을 뽑는 건 보병이라고.
What is that? Winchester? Did you hit anything?
I'm making an attack run.
Well, I guess they probably did kill 2 or 3 tanks, but I'm not too impressed with their accuracy. Actually, I kind of think they only killed 1 tank. And that missed 2. Also a very good run by the Hornets. And the good news is they're almost out of these ZTZs. The bad news is Soviet reinforcements will be arriving shortly with a bunch more, so... Not ZTZs, but their own heavy tanks.
동이트의 새벽 꿈에
Man, those tanks are expensive. It is glorious how expensive those are.
소대 정렬 완료.
I mean, every single one of those expensive ZTZs that dies is just, like, worth as much as my total losses for the battle. Hopefully they attack one more time. I mean, they've only lost about 1,200 points, which is significant, but they're still starting the battle with like 8,000, so... I mean, they can't keep it up forever, but they can keep it up a while. Actually, how many tanks do we think we killed? Like 6, maybe? Probably something like that. They're down to 23. So even if they only do that for this round, they can probably only do that 2 or 3 more times, and then they really will be out of stuff. Ultimately, all I have to do here in Taichung is just keep on holding out. Their flanks at this point are really starting to collapse. Between the Marines breaking through, and also the French and British Marines breaking through, the east and west flanks are both just, like, give me 2 turns and they'll be in big, big trouble. Okay, apparently they're just not going to bother me anymore. Didn't even bring in any mortars this time.
대기 중입니다. 쌍안경 챙겨. 그럼 저길 오피로 잡죠. 그럼 저길 오피로 잡죠. 쌍안경 챙겨. 잠입 중.
Stop. Do not get any closer. Tanks. Don't see any. Oh, there's some.
Someone need a guardian angel? Target in sight. Adjusting aim. 대기 중입니다.
Okay, time to fall back. Thank you, Hornets.
Someone need a guardian angel?
Yeah,
뭐라도 보이나?
fell back too much. The Hornet lost sight of everything.
It's gonna rain down on them crawlers.
Oh. So that's like a 14-to-1 kill ratio. I mean, I lost some Yebagoon and a scout car, and they lost, I don't know the exact totals, but they lost quite a decent number, and they lost about 15 units worth of infantry. I lost about 7 altogether. Almost evened out there. Plus they lost another 8 tanks total, so they're down to 15. And they're also down to 1 single recon vehicle, so... I mean, they barely have more assets than me on the field here now. I don't know how many more losses it's going to take to wipe out any of these regiments. I mean, this one's pretty good. This tank regiment's in bad shape, though. Problem, of course, is we have to take at least 1 or 2 turns of holding off. Probably not this one, but this one. Well, this doesn't really add any new tactical options for them, though. It's just extra tanks, but they are the same kind of just heavy, generic tanks. These are useless. The problem, if anything, is going to be this artillery company. Because this could just flatten my defenses, potentially. On the other hand, I could just fall back for a turn, and by then they'd be, like, encircled by the Marines coming up behind them, and they would probably be in big trouble. Alright, Pyongyang, then. I mean, we definitely outnumber them, and we're back to the same map as before, unfortunately. As in, I don't have any reinforcement points coming in, except for my 2 cohesion points. They don't have a lot of cohesion points either, but still. We both have plenty of logistics. They are actually down to being pretty low on infantry, and what they do have is garbage. Mostly. These are nice. Well, these are okay, at least, and these are okay. The basic Bochongsu are pretty worthless. Support-wise, I mean, I have more, but they have plenty. They still have 4 Iglas, 4 Ponggais, and 8 Shilkas. Plus mortars and howitzers. They got 39 tanks still. They're pretty bad, but they have them. They got plenty of recon, plenty of vehicles, and they still have 38 planes. Shot down 2 last time. Of this type, I think. Are all these planes based out of here? I think the Chinese ones are based out of Shenyang. But I mean, I could kill the 20 North Korean ones, and that would help. Or actually, it's 24 North Korean ones. I only have 9 tanks left. Plenty of recon, but it's all kind of the same. And I don't have any helicopters left. Well, I have all these helicopters, but yeah. I mean, we have infantry and we have air assets. The problem is infantry are almost useless right now, because we don't have any buildings to dig into. Well, let's get out a couple of decent choppers. Let's get out a couple of tanks. A couple of F-16s. An F-111. And that's already pretty much all I can afford. Which is obviously not ideal.
Ciel est à nous.
Really like to push on. I mean, if I could just take, like, Juliet sector or something, not only would it double my reinforcement rate, it would put me way closer to the enemy as a position, because it's so isolated back here. But... and I'm thinking mainly in terms of being able to spawn much closer in the next battle. But... doesn't really... I mean, I would need to get together a really significant force of, like, probably another Leopard command vehicle that worked out so well last time. Plus a decent infantry force. I had a Thunderbolt last time, but I don't think it was as effective as the F-111, honestly. This has huge damage. Oh, god damn it. I didn't realize I was still in very fast when I did that, to be honest. But those are way too precious and expensive to be losing like that. Yeah, I didn't even really see what kind of SAM it was or where exactly they were. That might have been them, actually. That might have been a couple of Eagles. Did you drop your bombs? You did. Didn't really nail them. Okay, the one Aardvark lost aside. This is actually a very good start. I think we got 2 Iglas, and we completely smashed up this column, so... well, actually, no. Deal with them when we have more rockets again. The attack helicopters are just absolute godsend. And that's, I mean, despite the fact that the enemy have plentiful. Yeah, there went the scout car. It's kind of a miracle that it survived the first round of fighting there, but still. Ooh, 2 more Iglas. Well, I know exactly where they are. Well, except I just lost them. I know exactly where they were. Not as helpful.
coordonnées indiquées.
See, Harrier doesn't even work on them, annoyingly. I think a Thunderbolt would probably be super easy meat for them, actually. The F-111 at least has better ECM and is a lot faster, so it's a much better chance to not instantly die.
Je me dirige vers les coordonnées indiquées. Quelqu'un a besoin d'un ange gardien?
Where the hell did the Iglis go? Well, that's a tank. Well, it's also tanks. Which, speaking of tanks, there's a gigantic pile of them just driving up the road right now. And unfortunately dying. Wait, artillery fire. But it's so far back there. I can't possibly airstrike that, you know? I can airstrike this. And apparently the Iglis are right the hell there. Jesus Christ. That's a very big problem. I don't even really dare call the last one of these in, because they're so damn useful, but...
Where do you need us, sir?
I mean, I can't really do without them. Ugh. Wow, yeah, okay, he never saw the Iglis. Okay, I'm just feeding really expensive planes to the Iglis at this point. And I kind of thought they would stop the artillery fire once they lost sight of us, but they didn't. Even though that's almost always what they do. You guys landed? Why are you not? I really need you to rearm here. There we go. I promise you have to be not in combat. But... I mean, this might be another round of just run off the bottom of the map and hide for a while, because... we just don't get enough reinforcements in. To be able to stop the hordes of stuff they send at us. Okay, the loss of those planes. What have I lost? 2 aardvarks now and a thunderbolt? Yeah, that's bad and embarrassing, to be honest, but... You should probably rearm enough. You know what? Good grief.
Espérons qu'il n'y aura pas beaucoup d'anti-aériens. Ciel est à nous.
Okay, I like shutting down their recon.
En route vers les coordonnées terminées.
The FOB would be able to fix these if they were ever not under artillery fire, but...
Faut que je fasse les petits moteurs.
god damn it, they almost pulled that off. But I'll probably take it, to be honest. I mean, well, I maybe shouldn't, because I don't really have more Tigray Hads, but I will take it.
Checklist, ok, à partir.
2 eaglets for the one of them. As an engagement between helicopters and SAMs, it's pretty successful at least.
Ok. Ouais, 더 건조하세요.
Holy cow, that was a waste of missiles.
Checklist, ok, à partir.
Do I have any cheaper airstrike ability? Nope. Nothing under 100.
Je me dirige vers les coordonnées indiquées. Maintenant, coordinates, toi. Oui, mon colonel.
So, we've reached the stage of the battle where any appearance whatsoever of my forces
Checklist, ok, à
is met
partir.
with an enormous artillery barrage instantly. And I have absolutely no chance of killing any of their artillery, so... If I had, you know, a lot more points, I could set up counter-artillery, but I really don't.
Espérons qu'il n'y aura pas beaucoup d'anti-aériens.
The good news is they only have so much recon, and they seem to be pretty much feeding it to me, so that's nice. Although that was some wild misses. It's also quite expensive, which most recon kind of is,
Quel est à nous?
compared to its combat ability, so... Okay.
Espérons qu'il n'y aura pas beaucoup d'anti-aériens.
Yeah, the more of these we can kill, the better.
Checklist, ok, à partir. Checklist, ok, à partir. Il va pleuvoir sur les remparts.
Let's use a French recon vehicle just to mix it up. Maybe it'll have better luck.
Allons-y. En route vers les coordonnées, terminé. Il faut que je fasse l'édifice rotor. Cible en vue, fixée en cours. Je me dirige vers les coordonnées indiquées.
Oh, God.
En route vers les coordonnées, terminé. Le ciel est à nous.
Yeah, well, it lived.
Recours prêt, colonel.
Killed the French recon or the enemy recon vehicle, so I guess that's a success. All right, pull back. It's a successful battle. I mean, we inflicted better than a 2-to-1 kill ratio. In fact, it was better than 2-to-1, yeah. We only really lost... Well, the 2 F-111s and the Thunderbolt is pretty much most of our losses, along with 3 recon cars and a Leopard. The second the Thunderbolt that we lost was just outright stupidity on my part, and I'll admit that. Honestly, the aardvarks probably were too, but oh well. However, we did take out a lot of ZTS 63s and 59s, along with at least a few infantry. Mostly we took out tanks and a lot of recon vehicles. They are down to not very many infantry anyway. They're limited in support. They have 13 tanks left, total, of the cheaper kind. They are pretty much out of recon, because they lost all of these and most of these. Still got all the plane. You know what? We're actually about to win. Especially with this tank regiment destroyed. Because that was, let's see here. Is that all the remaining tanks gone in practice? Where's that regiment? God, it's hard to even find. Yes, that is, in fact, that's half their remaining logistical train, because that's all of these cargo trucks as well. Or it's all the SX-250s. That's all the SX-250s and all the FOBs. And a bunch of the command vehicles. Plus it's all the remaining tanks, and it's 2 out of their 4 remaining recon vehicles. So you know what? It didn't really feel like it, but we basically just won. Because now, what's left on the ground? They've got a ton of stuff in the air still, but what's left on the ground? This anti-air company, okay. Strike Squadron, Artillery Company. SUs. This is all they've got left to actually fight on the ground. A few Bochong-su and some bomb tank faggots. I wish we had a few more tanks. If I hadn't lost all those AMX-30s, this would be easier, but we should be able to push forward and take Pyongyang next turn. They're in big trouble, realistically. Alright, let's see what they do. Okay, they're gonna push back into Kilju. That's probably necessary to try to save their ass at all, but... Oh, what the hell? Oh, they seem to have, Oh, boy. We'll see about that. Okay, so the Russians have spawned in some new air forces. A bunch of new air forces. Oh, no, that's Chinese. I don't know where they got these. I think they pulled these out of Pyongyang, actually. Which is probably a good call. But also 6 IL-102s with AoE bombs. And 6 Su-25s with 16 semi-active laser homing missiles apiece. Yay. Yeah. But they left the heavy artillery behind, though. They're back here for some reason. And the tank destroyers. But they did bring in the tanks. So, I mean, this is the spot where we're in trouble. I think we probably wrap up Sonchon and Pyongyang next turn. And some helicopters or something can fly onwards and take Vladivostok without a fight. Which actually means that these Su-25 and IL-102s are, like, very low priority targets, because they're just gonna blow up. What else did they have here? I mean, just huge piles of infantry and a lot of tanks and stuff. I'll give it a shot at fighting this battle. It might be unwinnable, or it might not be worth trying to win. But I'll give it a shot. If I could hold them off, that would be pretty fantastic. Overall. Probably gonna need those, but... Only if it doesn't weaken our overall defense too much, which it might. Let's get rid of helicopters that are different. The veterancy level thing becomes really messy. Okay.
누굴 옮겨줄까?
Oh god, I need to get a recon vehicle this time.
지시를 기다리는 중입니다. 명령 받겠습니다.
Oh well, we hold out 20 minutes or we don't. They don't have anything really new strategically, except that they can try to bomb us. Which my Beehos and Hornets will try to counter. The other reinforcement they got is the Soviet tanks, which they're just tanks. They already had tanks, and they weren't really breaking through. So the IL-102s and Su-25s are really what's new. For whatever reason, they didn't even bring in the heavy artillery, which is actually what I was most afraid of. So if I can hold them off for this turn, then we should kill their air support by taking Vladivostok next turn. So we should be okay if we can hold them off for this turn. If we can't, then we fall back, and after we kill their air support, we should have a much better chance of holding out next turn anyway, so. I believe we are on the brink of final victory now. I think the defense of Pyongyang and of Sonchon is basically assured of crumbling. They were counterattacking at Kilju, but it wasn't insufficient force to really hurt us, I don't think. I do wish I could see, but if it was like, well, you know what? Actually, if they do nothing this whole time, that's really just to my benefit. They're the ones who initiated this battle. I wouldn't have voluntarily done it at this point. So every second that ticks by is just me winning, basically. It's a good thing the AI doesn't really learn anything, because I would have, you know, overrun my defenses here ages ago, but... That's a tank. I don't really know why I can see it. They must have parked it in just the wrong place, but... Goodbye. What's that? Recon vehicle of some kind, maybe? I mean... To be fair, if they really, really want to break through, I guess the sensible thing is,
Where do you need us,
in
sir?
fact, for them to wait until pretty much the last, like, 3 minutes and hit me with everything they've got. All they need to do is kill these Bombu and I just lose. On the other hand, that's leaving everything down to one attack. And if it fails, they got nothing. didn't even bother to secure the extra sectors or anything these days. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure their cohesion is also quite low after all these draws. So they're getting more than +0 from that, if nothing else. I think they're getting like +2 or 3 from everything else, but and they cheat, but they're probably not getting as many reinforcements in as I think. They still have way more forces on the map than me, but maybe not by as big of a margin as I think. Dang, I wish I'd brought out the recon car. Not that I could have afforded it, but I'm pretty sure there's a huge mass of troops right here if I could just see it. I could be hornet striking them all day.
적이 사거리에 들어온다면 우리도 마찬가지란 말이지.
You know what? Where'd the 10 go?
전쟁이 안 날 거라고 하더니.
Gentlemen, you have a new purpose in life. It's to die for your country still, but in a much more direct and immediate kind of way. I'm gonna need you just to run forward until you can see some tanks, yeah. Okay, you can fall back now. They seem to be coming at us anyway.
지휘관님, 오병이 대체 뭘 할 수 있겠습니까?
Yeah, this is probably gonna hurt, guys. Using the cheap tanks this time. Oh shit. That is an IL-102. How did it stun us? Oh, hell. It didn't. There's just, They finally brought out their AA.
Fly zone is hot.
That said, the Beho just shot down the IL-102, so that's a big success. And it didn't get its bomb load off because it was stunned by the Hornet, so... Bad news is both the Hornets are damaged, so... Hopefully the infantry can stop these tanks. Oh god, that's a lot of tanks. Wait, T-72s. That one might have gotten bombs. I don't know. Kind of seems like they just bailed. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while before the Hornets are ready. This might be one bridge too far. It's going to be close. If we kill like these 5 tanks, then they're probably dead. I don't know that we can kill these 5 tanks.
적이 사거리에 들어온다면 우리도 마찬가지란
I'm gonna need you to take that out.
적이 사거리에 들어온다면 우리도 마찬가지란 말이지.
Got one. Got 2. Holy cow, we might have done it. I mean, it cost us nearly all the infantry that we had standing, but...
전쟁이 안 날 거라고 하더니.
we held them off. And the 34th Tank Regiment is destroyed. Still pulled off a 4-to-1 kill ratio. Yeah, I mean, we lost a bunch of infantry. We really did lose a meaningful number. We're way behind them again. But they lost every one of their remaining ZTZ-85 2As and all but 6 of the 3s, which means they would have only had 6 tanks left after the Russian reinforcements. Of course, They only lost 4 T-72As, so... At this point, the destruction of this is almost meaningless, because there's only 6 tanks, plus command tanks and cargo trucks, but yeah. But it's gone. Oh! The U.S. Air Force gives you one of its most precious assets, a squadron from the 37th Fighter Wing, that is to say 2 veteran F-117s from the Gulf War. Use them well. You also have a squadron of F-15s at your disposal. Thanks for watching, sailors. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like or subscribing. New parts will be up every other day for the most part. Or you can watch live on Twitch once a week. Have a nice day, sailors. This is Sea Lord Jenda, signing off.